Walter's Sports Bar has been recognized by many local publications as one of the best sports bars in Washington, D.C., located across the street from Nationals Park and open year-round.
A massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, especially these days. 8 different settings, adjustable intensity, plus it's heated, and it just feels so good. Yes, a massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, but when it can come with a car, suddenly it seems quite practical. The all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan, packed with premium features like available massaging front seats, it only feels extravagant.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Line of the pitch. Swing a long drive right field for Garcia. Looking up Castro at the wall. Way back it goes, and it's gone. Garcia clears the 23-foot fence in straightaway right field for his 8th homer, and it's 2-0 Nationals. Garcia's just missed a couple of homers in this series. He gets one now as he hammers a fastball over the wall and right to extend the Nationals' lead. 1-0 offering. Call, skies one to right, fairly deep. Larnach back to the warning track. He looks up, and this one is gone. It just clears into the overhang above the 23-foot wall. And Alex Call from nearby Wisconsin delivers an opposite field home run, his 3rd of the year, and the Nationals lead it 6-2. The Alex Call cheering section that came in from River Falls is going crazy on the third base side. What a day for Alex Call.
And welcome to Nats Chat, along with MASNsports.com Nationals insider Mark Zuckerman, who was at Target Field in Minneapolis. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. The Nationals on Saturday night got a win, and then we shortly after that win learned of the first of perhaps many trades by the Nats in the lead up to the 2025 MLB trade deadline, which is this Thursday, July 31st at 6 p.m. Eastern. The Nats have traded utility man Amed Rosario to the New York Yankees for 2 prospects, principal among them reliever Clayton. Beater had been the Yankees' number 20 overall prospect per MLB Pipeline. As for the Nats' win, they finally scored a run. A first run for the Nats since their 3-run 6th inning in a 6-1 win over the Cincinnati Reds at Nationals Park all the way back this past Tuesday evening. A 9-3 win at the Minnesota Twins on Saturday night in Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Nats now are 42-62. The Nats, starting with last Sunday, have had the following run totals: 1, 10, 6, 0, 0, and 9. As we have been saying, this Nats offense, feast or famine. This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by Window Nation. Do not miss Window Nation's biggest deal of the year. The deadline to get 50% off all window styles is the same as the MLB trade deadline, July 31st. You tell us what you think. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. Hit us up on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email us natschatpodcast@gmail.com. Lots more on the Nats win at the Twins shortly, but a salute to Amed Rosario, who, as things stand right now, was the Nats' best free agent signing this past offseason. I know that's not saying much, given that this free agent class has been rather rough, but Rosario for the Nats this regular season, 158 plate appearances, OPS of 736. But the question mark, of course, is how many trades by the Nats are coming in the lead up to this deadline?
Yeah, this is the first of, I think, quite a few of them that we're probably going to see before Thursday. Al, we've gone through it. We know who the players on the expiring contracts are. You would think that Mike DeBartolo is, aggressively shopping all of them. Doesn't mean he's going to get a taker on every single guy, but you would think he's going to be at least attempting to move all of them. And then the bigger fish, the guys who are not, about to be free agents, guys who are under contract beyond this year, Nathaniel Lowe, Mackenzie Gore, obviously the 2 probably biggest names who fall into that category. I think we all knew all along, if you had to pick one player out of the entire group who felt most likely to be traded, I think Rosario was the guy, because he really was exactly what they signed him to be. He raked against lefties, an 816 OPS. Was not good defensively, but they didn't necessarily sign him expecting that from him. They wanted a veteran right-handed bat off the bench, somebody who could mentor Luis Garcia, and he did do that, and Luis had some very nice things to say about him after the trade went down. And you're not getting a ton in return for him, but this is a valuable player who can help the Yankees in a specific role with them. And you got two prospects. One of them's 26 years old with a little bit of big league experience, ton of strikeouts, a lot of walks. That would be the red flag with Clayton Beater. And then the 18-year-old outfielder, Browm, that's Browm, not N, that's not a typo, Browm Martinez. 18-year-old, he's hitting over 300 in the Dominican Summer League. That's the, you hope somehow he turns into something. A long way to go before you ever know if that's going to amount to anything, because you're taking a flyer there. But I think that's about what you would expect for somebody like Amed Rosario. They paid him $2 million. It was a good signing by Mike Rizzo, and I think it's a good trade by Mike DeBartolo based on what we know at this point.
Yeah, I think it is an organizational win. 1-year deal, $2 million. He plays pretty well for you, at least offensively. You mentioned the defensive struggles. You look at what Rosario did defensively, a combined 301 and 2/3 innings at third base and second base, -6 defensive runs saved per Sports Info Solution. So the defense was a problem, but the offense was good. And you turn them into two prospects, and something is better than nothing. It's very simple with all of these Nats players on expiring contracts. There's no reason not to trade any of them. Like, if I'm Mike DeBartolo, I'm taking whatever I can get for all of these guys. There's no reason not to trade every single one of these Nats players on expiring contracts. Now, whether they end up trading all those guys, we'll see. But it makes all the sense in the world to make this trade. And I think the drama will be just how many trades do we end up seeing, because the Nats do have a decent number of players on expiring contracts. And so, you think about like Kyle Finnegan and Michael Soroka. Paul DeJong's name has come up. So, are we about to see, 4, 5, 6 total trades by the Nats here, or will this be a more underwhelming total? I'm actually interested to see what that number ends up being.
I think it's going to be fairly high. As you said, if you're Mike DeBartolo, there's really not a lot of reason to hold on to them unless the offers are so bad that, it makes you look bad somehow to trade a guy away for that. But Josh Bell is in that category as well. I think it's interesting they got the ball rolling here already on Saturday night with several days to go. So they're not waiting to the last minute. The Yankees had a need. They made an offer. They deemed it good enough. They made the move. Will this be a trickle situation where we get one a day or something like that leading up to Thursday? Will we get very little and then a huge flurry at the end? Remember, at the 2021 trade deadline, it was 8 veterans who were moved, and it was all in the span of like 36 hours right at the end. Is it going to be one of those situations, or are these going to be spread out a little bit more? The fact they already made the first move here 5 days in advance maybe makes me think there's a chance at this happening more step by step as opposed to all at once.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? DeBartolo's work could be done by Thursday. He maybe makes all the trades in the lead up to the deadline, and the deals get done, say, Saturday night through Wednesday. We shall see. So Amed Rosario shipped off in a deal that was announced late night on Saturday night, and the news broke literally minutes after the Nats notched this 9-3 win at the Twins, a game in which, of course, the Nats, off having been shut out in back-to-back games, scored 9 runs, and not only that, scored 9 runs despite the Twins starting pitcher being one of the best starting pitchers in the majors this season. This, in a nutshell, is this Nats offense. This offense struggled against the immortal Zebby Matthews in a 1-0 loss on Friday night. And this offense teed off on Joe Ryan on Saturday night. The Nats for the game, 9 runs, 12 hits, 2 walks, 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The 12 hits, 2 homers, 2 doubles, and 8 singles. And Joe Ryan, in case you're unfamiliar with his work, he came into the game with an ERA of 2.63 over 20 games, including 19 starts this regular season. But Ryan on Saturday night, 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. And before we go any further, I just think we need to harp on this. The fact that the Nats struggled against Zebby Matthews, got shut out in back-to-back games, and then in a game that's set up for them to struggle offensively yet again, did well against one of the best pitchers in the majors. Is that not this Nats confounding offense to a T?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've seen it happen. And Miguel Cairo even made a joke about it afterwards that he's going to start telling his guys every night that they're facing an all-star, facing the best pitchers, thinking maybe it'll psychologically help them to, better prepare or somehow boost their confidence because for whatever reason they have done better against better opposing starters. I don't know what to make of that. I really don't. But it was a nice effort for them in a lot of ways. A lot of guys contributed, some of them who were in the lineup, some of them coming off the bench, as it turned out, to contribute. By the way, you know how the Twins acquired Joe Ryan? You know where he came from? He was acquired July 22nd, 2021, trade deadline, a week before the Nats sell-off happened, from Tampa Bay, along with a couple other players who were involved in the trade. But the big name in that trade was a guy named Nelson Cruz, who was a big-time hitter for the Twins, who was about to be a free agent, and he was traded as a rental player. And look what the Twins got in return, a guy who wound up becoming an all-star starting pitcher for them. The Nationals tried this with Nelson Cruz a couple years later. Did not work out nearly as well. They got nothing for Nelson Cruz. Win for the Twins in that case.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan has been superb this season, but he was not superb on Saturday night. The other bizarro thing about this game for the Nats offensively, 9 runs despite another underwhelming game for James Wood. He is the Nats starting left fielder and number 2 batter, 0 for 4 with a walk and 3 strikeouts, continuing his difficult month of July. But a whole lot of Nats got in on the act in this game. C.J. Abrams, he is the Nats starting shortstop and number 1 batter, 1 for 5 with a 3-run double. Abrams in a Nats 3-run 5th, bases loaded, first pitch, 3-run double to the right field corner for a 5-0 Nats lead. Luis Garcia Jr., he is the Nats starting second baseman and number 3 batter, 2 for 5 with a solo homer and a double. Garcia in a Nats 1-run 4th, a leadoff homer to right field for a 2-0 Nats lead despite having been down at 1.02. We had an injury in this game. Jacob Young, as the Nats starting center fielder and number 9 batter, left the game due to suffering a right index finger contusion while trying to bunt, but his replacement, Alex Cole, came off the bench and did quite well. 2 for 4 with a solo homer, an RBI single, and an RBI fielder's choice grounder. Did get caught in an attempted steal of second base, but Cole in a Nats 1-run 7th, a 1-out opposite field solo homer to right field for a 6-2 Nats lead. We have mentioned Cole as a potential trade chip for the Nats. I mean, Cole this regular season, 228 plate appearances, OPS 764. Do you consider Alex Cole to be a trade chip for the Nats here this week?
I think it just depends what the rest of the league thinks of him. If somebody made an offer and you're Mike DeBartolo, sure. I mean, we know the outfield depth they have. We know that they don't typically find a lot of spots for Cole to play. And with Dylan Cruz, in theory, he's close to returning at last from an oblique injury. There's going to be even fewer opportunities, especially if you want to continue to get at bats for young guys like Dalen Lyle and eventually Robert Hassel III as well. So it just boils down to, what does the rest of the league view Alex Cole as? I think we've seen him enough here to have a sense, but he always seems to exceed your expectations. And while he doesn't play a lot, when he has played, for the most part, he has come through for them. And this was a pretty impressive job by him. He comes in and takes over an at-bat that's already down 0-2 in the 3rd inning. It's, the worst situation you can find yourself in as a hitter. And yet, if there's anybody on that roster who I would think has a chance with an 0-2 count, it's Alex Cole. He works the count. He's all right with 2 strikes. He'll foul pitches off. And what he did is he worked the at-bat, got to 2-2, and then rips a single, drives in a run. And yes, by the way, that was the first run the Nats had scored in about 96 hours. Not since Tuesday night. And he came through for that, and then obviously had a really nice game the rest of the way. It was sort of a homecoming game for him, just across the river in River Falls, Wisconsin, but used to come to Twins games. Had a lot of family here. It was a big night for him, and good for him for stepping into a situation that he wasn't expecting, and in, ultimately a very difficult spot to be thrown into, and came through for them and was a big part of this win.
August 2022, the Nats claim Cole off waivers from Cleveland. He's not a guy who you want playing every day. I think we've seen that when he plays every day, he does get exposed to a degree, but in spot duty, he's done a good job for the Nats these last few seasons. We've seen him be productive. So, yeah, I would think that he is appealing to some teams out there, assuming that Mike DeBartolo is, in fact, open to trading Cole.
He also has a lot of club control. I think he can't be a free agent until like 2029 or 2030. So if you are acquiring him, you're not just getting him for the stretch run, but potentially for a long time to come.
Yeah, so good work by Alex Cole. Jacob Young, how is he doing with that finger injury?
It looks like good news so far. X-rays were negative on the right index finger. It is a contusion. day to day. Given the Rosario trade and the fact that they traded him for a pitcher, they are going to have to call up a position player. I expect that to be Jose Tena to come up in time. It's going to be quick to get here in time for Sunday's series finale, a matinee game. But I think that'll probably be the move. And in Young's case, you hope he didn't suffer anything. It looked kind of bad in the moment. It brought up some bad memories of Trey Turner trying to bunt in 2019. That one was the pinky finger. This one is the index finger. It's such a tricky thing when you are bunting. I get it. It's not nearly as easy as it looks, but you've got to protect your hands. You've exposed a lot. It happened there to Young. You hope he's all right and he doesn't miss more than a couple of days. That'd be a pretty big blow to him and the team if he were to actually suffer a serious injury from that.
It's an underrated negative of bunting. I mean, the obvious negative with bunting is that it removes any power potential, but there is that injury possibility. Now, with Jacob Young, he does not hit for power, and he's actually a very good bunter. So I'm not going to slam Young or the Nats for him bunting in that spot. That's what he does. That's one of his better tools. But unfortunate to see him hurt that finger. But, it was interesting with this Nats lineup in this game. The numbers 7, 8, and 9 spots, Dalen Lyle, Drew Millas, and ultimately Alex Cole. Big-time production from those three guys. 7 for 12 in this game. Lyle as the Nats starting right fielder and number 7 batter, 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. Drew Millas as the Nats starting catcher and number 8 batter, 3 for 4 with 3 singles. So I mentioned Wood going 0 for 4. Brady House went 0 for 4, but Lyle, Millas, and Alex Cole all coming through in this game.
They needed it. Good for Millas, who got a rare start behind the plate. 3 hits, one of them probably should have been called an error on Carlos Correa, and it wasn't. But still, 2 hits, a stolen base, ignited the rally. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but you do have to acknowledge that Riley Adams and Drew Millas have been producing for them in a way that maybe Keibert Ruiz was not before suffering the concussions. We still got a ways to go until he's back. Just interested to see how both of these guys continue to perform in his absence and how much Millas plays. My guess is he's still going to be 1 out of 3 games, once per series for the most part.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit when other lenders say no. Apply in minutes and get a decision as soon as the same day. If approved, applications are typically funded the next business day or sooner. Loans offered by NetCredit or lending partner banks and serviced by NetCredit. Application subject to review and approval. Learn more at netcredit.com/partner. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a fastball. And a Curly W's in the books at Target Field in Minneapolis. Andrew Chafin closes out this one. It's a win for Mitchell Parker, being the Twins for the 2nd year in a row. He gets his 7th win of the season. And the Nationals, after being shut out in back-to-back games, have an offensive explosion here at Target Field as they bang out 9 runs and 12 hits. The Nationals on the field to celebrate a victory. A Curly W in the books. The final score, the Nationals 9 and the Twins 3.
The Nats starting pitcher in this 9-3 win at the Twins on Saturday night was Mitchell Parker. He was coming off a pretty good outing, and he had another pretty good outing. 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings, despite giving up 8 hits, which were 3 doubles and 5 singles. But he had 4 strikeouts versus 1 walk, and he threw a lot of strikes, 99 pitches, 71 strikes, 28 balls. He only had 1 clean inning, the bottom of the 2nd inning, but he navigated his way through giving up those 8 hits, and given how things had been going for him, 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings was good to see, and this was off what he did the previous Saturday night. The Nats 4-2 win over the San Diego Padres at Nationals Park on July 19th. Parker in that game 2 runs in 6 innings. He had been in a real rut. I don't want to say his problems have been solved, but good to see him get good results here over these last 2 starts.
Yeah, and nice to see that on a night when, as you said, there was a lot of traffic, only 1 clean inning. He was pitching with runners on base, runners in scoring position. I think the Twins at one point were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Now you crediting Parker for that. You blaming the Twins, probably a combination of the two. But he did come through in some big moments that he needed and they needed. And when given a lead, like his teammates did, he pretty much held on to it until he got to the 6th inning and started to fade at that point. But for what Mitchell Parker is and what he's supposed to be, that's what you want. 5 2/3, couple of runs allowed, kept the team in the game, pitched his way out of some jams, didn't let anything snowball on him. As we know in the past, sometimes they have. And by the way, did you notice the successful play in the field he made? Was not a difficult play by any stretch, but as we know, with Mitchell Parker, there's no such thing as a routine play in the field. Good on him. He got to the little comebacker, picked it up, and carefully underhanded it to first base to get the out. Good job there, Mitchell Parker.
When it comes to Mitchell Parker's fielding, beggars shall not be choosers. We will take whatever we can get. I will say this about Mitchell Parker. He does not generate many strikeouts, but he consistently throws strikes. He consistently, if you look at what he does game in, game out, has a strikes to balls ratio of 2-1. He does this a lot. Even in his bad outings, he will throw a lot of strikes. And I think there's something to be said for that. He's good at attacking the zone and not, dilly-dallying to where he's throwing a bunch of balls. And I wanted to give him credit for that because he's been very consistent in that regard, actually.
Yeah, and he usually does give you some innings. So even on a night where there's base runners, he gets to 5 2/3 and kept it just under 100 pitches. The other thing he's done the last few starts, and he mentioned this afterwards, he's throwing his slider more to right-handed hitters. Not something he had done in the past, but he's found something there and had some success. Got a couple big strikeouts in his last start with it. He struck out Harrison Bader 3 times in this game, all of them on sliders. So maybe something there, an adjustment from Mitchell Parker, figuring out a different way to go about this than he had in the past and having some success with it.
And the Nats bullpen in this 9-3 win at the Twins on Saturday night was good. 3 Nats relievers combined to allow 1 run in 3 1/3 innings. Luis Garcia 1 1/3 scoreless innings on just 11 pitches. Jackson Rutledge did allow 1 run in 1 inning, but Andrew Chafin a scoreless bottom of the 9th, despite giving up a single to each of the Twins' first 2 batters in the inning. I think the thing that stands out as much as anything, Luis Garcia has quickly become a workhorse for Miguel Cairo and this Nats bullpen, and he's doing well. So I guess why the heck not? I know he's an older player, but he has been a flamethrower here lately, and he's been very effective since the Nats got him.
Yeah, he has, and he has been thrown into high leverage spots. Miguel Cairo trusts him, and he has the experience. I mean, he's been a late inning reliever for a good part of his career, and now that he's feeling good about himself, throwing hard, apparently solved the tipping issue that he had when he was with the Dodgers before they got rid of him. It's been a very nice, subtle little pickup by Mike DeBartolo. I think this goes down as officially Mike DeBartolo's first move as interim GM. Now, I don't know if that had been in the works prior to it because it was like literally the next day after the move was made that they had signed Garcia. But it's been a nice pickup. Also a veteran who's got an expiring contract, as we've discussed. Could there be enough body of work there for him to be flipped at the trade deadline? We will see whether that does happen or whether he stays. It's been a nice, solid, under-the-radar pickup for this team who has needed all the bullpen help it can get this summer.
It really is something. July 8th was when the Nats signed Garcia. He already has made 9 appearances for them this month. Like, he is pitching a ton. If the Nats do trade him, they at least can say they got their money's worth out of Luis Garcia in the month of July. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're Miguel Cairo, you're not wedded to these guys. You're not probably here long-term. He's not here long-term. Garcia might as well use him up as much as you can because while of course he cares about keeping guys' arms healthy, it's not the same as if you are here for, on a long-term deal yourself. And if it's a reliever who is part of the long-term plan here, neither Miguel Cairo nor Luis Garcia, I would expect to be back in 2026.
So the Nats with a chance to notch a series win. We shall see. Remember, the Nats did win that series against the Cincinnati Reds earlier in the week. I know it didn't necessarily feel that way with the way that series ended with the 5-0 loss on Wednesday afternoon, but the Nats won games 1 and 2 of that series and perhaps can exit this series with victories in games 2 and 3. Game 3 Sunday afternoon at 2:10. Jake Irvin will be the Nats starting pitcher. Hit us up on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email us natschatpodcast@gmail.com. This installment of Nats Chat brought to us by Window Nation. Do not miss Window Nation's biggest deal of the year. The deadline to get 50% off all window styles is the same as the MLB trade deadline, July 31st. Nats Chat is on the radio Sunday morning 9 to 10 on ESPN Richmond, which is 106.1 FM in the Richmond, Virginia area, and Sunday morning 9 to 10 on Priority Sports Radio 94.1 in the Virginia Beach area. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat, courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. For Mark Zuckerman, I'm Al Galdi. We thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat Podcast.
Here comes the 3-2. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. That's strike 3. Clayton Beater strikes out his first batter.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.